up in the sky. Look, it's captivating. It's energizing. It's Eliances Heroes. Eliances is the destination for entrepreneurs, investors, CEOs, inventors, leaders, celebrities, and startups, where our heroes in business align. Now, here's your host flying in, David Kogan, founder of Eliances.
Remember, we're all here about sharing secrets of our heroes, ones that can help us expand, build their business. It's the show that helps you, our many, many, many listeners. And so excited today. Let me tell you who we've got coming on later on in the show. We've got the pro basketball player and CEO founder of Power Vision Team. That's right, you can reach him at powervisionteam.com. Later on in the show, we've got the former counterintelligence agent and founder of Superpower Experts. But let's go ahead and let's get started with our first hero. And by the way, too, thank you for all the feedback that we continue to get from having the prior Pepsi CEO on. And we really shared a lot of insight into what's going on and how he got to where he's got to. So if you've got a computer, which everybody does, and you've got a mouse, you must have heard of this company, because our next hero, he is the CEO of Logitech, Bracken Darrell, and he could be reached at Logitech.com. That's Logitech.com. Now, this is the personal computer mobile accessory company. Global headquarters is in Switzerland. So, Bracken, we're going to have to travel out to your headquarters definitely one of these times. Beautiful Switzerland. And the headquarters in the U.S. is in California. So, Bracken, what is the real excitement in products that you can share with us today? What's the latest and greatest coming out?
Well, first of all, David, I have to say it's so appropriate to have me on after an intelligence official and a former pro basketball player. Not. We've got so many cool products coming out. We don't announce. I can't pre-announce anything right now, but I have something in my pocket that if I could pull it out and show you, we're on the phone, I would. But we have a lot of cool things coming out. We already have great products out under the Ultimate Ears brand in music. We have something called Wonder Boom, which is really amazing. It's waterproof, it floats, and it plays. It has amazing sound, so you can play it as a Bluetooth speaker anywhere. It's practically bulletproof. It's really amazing. I'm talking on, for those of you who are listening and happen to be in business, I'm talking on a speakerphone that's part of our video conferencing equipment, which costs like 1/20th or 1/50th of the normal equipment, and basically gives you all the performance you get from one. So this is amazing. We just got lots and lots of products, David. I mean, I could kind of run through them. We're in gaming.
What's the most popular?
Smart home.
What's the most popular?
The most popular, I would say, in the last few years, we just sold our 10 millionth UE Boom, Ultimate Ears Boom. So that probably gets the official most popular by vote. But we're also just on fire in the gaming space. You know, for those of you who are PC gamers out there, we have our brand Logitech G makes the mouse, the keyboard, the headset that professional esports athletes use. So that's super popular too.
Now that explains why my son, prior to the interview, asked me, because he knows we talking about you and stuff, and I told him it's a $2.3 billion company that Logitech is, with roughly 9,000 employees, and your company has experienced its fourth quarter consecutive year of retail sales growth over and over. And so my son wants to know, as many of our listeners, what's the secret to be able to doing the growth of so consistently?
Well, you know, we've as you pointed out, we've really turned the company around over the last 5 years. We went from declining 7% to growing 2%, growing 4%, growing 9%. Last year we grew 15%. We quadrupled the profit, and our stock is up from a low of about $6 up to over $35 today. So it has been a good story. But the cool thing is that the same thing that got us from 5 years ago to today is what's exciting about going forward, which is we've really reinvented our company around design. So we're really a design company, and we're essentially designing products in not only our existing categories, but in new categories, and even new to the world categories.
Excellent, excellent. And you're listening to the Eliances Hero Show with me, David Kogan. You could reach Eliances by going to Eliances.com, the place where entrepreneurs align. And we've got the president and CEO of Logitech, Bracken Darrell, a $2.3 billion company, 9,000 employees. I couldn't even imagine having that many employees. And how do you keep all of them so motivated and keep the R&D going and going?
Well, it's interesting. It doesn't feel like a big company. In fact, we really pride ourselves on feeling like a small company. And I meet with every new employee, usually, sometimes one-on-one, but usually in small groups. So I literally meet every employee in the company around the world. I do this, it's pretty much biweekly. I'll meet with the new employees that come in. So it doesn't feel like a small company. In terms of feeling motivated, we definitely pride ourselves on being a place where we're humble, we're very open. People are generally pretty hungry, and we just get a lot of stuff done. We really hire a lot of people who do stuff, and nothing's more liberating than going to work and feeling that you actually got something done. And we really do. And it sounds like rhetoric, it probably partly is, but it's if you look at our Glassdoor ratings, you'll see kind of what the company feels like, and it does feel like that.
Now, too, is that your background? I mean, you've worked for many well-known companies: Whirlpool, GE, Procter and Gamble, in executive roles spanning from manufacturing, supply chain, product innovation, and so much more. I mean, you've really grown and you've climbed the corporate ladder in that. I mean, how did you end up getting recruited and going to work for Logitech?
I was living in Europe. I'd lived in Europe for 8 years, 4 in Germany and 4 in Switzerland, working in Italy. Tough assignment, by the way. But anyway, so I loved what I was doing. I mean, I really love products, and I love creating things, and I love design. And I was really looking for somewhere eventually where I could create what I started to think of as a design company. Not Armani or Gucci or something, but design thinking, really iteratively creating new things. And when Logitech called, I thought, I hadn't thought about it in that space, but it seems like a good one. I got in here and discovered that Logitech had always been kind of a design company. And I wouldn't say I climbed up the corporate ladder. I'd say I climbed off the corporate ladder, because we don't really have a ladder, and we're not like a normal corporation. We're pretty flat. I have 23 direct reports. We try to, as I said, be kind of small at least in our behaviors. So it's been really exciting and fun.
Now, I got to tell you, you and I worked at the same place. We worked at Arthur Andersen. You began your career at Arthur Andersen, and I pretty much did too. So I got to ask you, what did you learn from Arthur Andersen now that has really kind of utilized? Because a lot of people, they look back, it's one of their earlier jobs that actually carried part of that skills into what they're doing now. Can you share that with us?
Yeah, I'll give you two things. I mean, one was, as you know, Arthur Andersen. When we went there, I don't know when you were there, but they were great people and a great company. But I think the thing I learned, which you and I both, we all know the story. Most of your listeners probably know the story of Arthur Andersen. That Enron really unraveled the whole thing. It reminds me of a Giorgio Armani quote that I read just a couple of weeks ago. He said, "Why are you so fixated on every detail of the business?" He said, "Because one loose thread can unravel the whole enterprise." And I think as great as they were, and they were great all over the world, they had a loose thread in integrity in one office, in one location. Maybe there were more, but in one office, in one location, that really unraveled the whole enterprise. And boy, I never want to have that happen. So integrity is the number one priority here.
Excellent. I got it. Now, one thing we both didn't go to, you definitely did, was Harvard Business School. Now, if you're giving a talk to incoming freshmen at Harvard, what are 2 to 3 secrets that you would share with them about entering the business world?
Well, I'd say number one, just be humble, because it's a cliche, but it's amazing the older you get how much you realize how little you really know. Number two is when you get that first taste of success, try to forget it and try to avoid success as much as you possibly can, because success is really your biggest enemy. It makes you afraid of trying new things, and makes you think what you're doing already is good enough. And success is a really dangerous path. And the third, and probably the most important of all, is have just an incredible appetite for learning, especially today. But when I got out of school too, I mean, whatever you think you're going to do when you get out of undergrad or business school or high school or if you leave school and go do something, whatever it is, I can promise you it is not going to be what you're going to be doing 5 years and 10 years and 20 years later. So being a hungry, curious, voracious learner, reading is a great way to do it, but in every way is really critical.
Well, that's phenomenal advice, Bracken. You and your company continue to grow and innovate in technology. You definitely have an appetite for learning. You build better ways for all. Go to Logitech.com. Bracken Darrell, CEO and President. And when we return, basketball player and CEO, founder of Power Vision Team, David Kogan with Eliances.